Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice of radio. So today, we're going to be looking at why Zoroark's not that good anymore. You see, Zoroark was everywhere. Zoroark was absolutely wrecking the format. And it's just, well, it's not doing as well anymore. I mean, if we compare the finishes it's had in a couple of tournaments, if we go back a couple of months, for instance, let's have a look at the regional in Toronto. It was half of the top 8. That's pretty big, ladies and gentlemen. That's incredibly big. But if we flick forward to the regional in Madison just a couple months later, it's not even in the top 8. In fact, at the Madison regionals, it got 2 top 16s, but they were 15 and 16. Zoroark is dropping off the map, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's still a great card. It's still a phenomenal card. There's no argument about that. But why is it not as good as it used to be? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Chief among them, and I've done a video about this card before, is B-String. I did a video about whether B-String is actually potentially a little bit too good. B-String is over the top good. Here's the thing, right? B-String accelerates energy to Ultra Beast, gives a little bit of extra speed. And probably the main Pokemon to which it has given that extra speed is Buzzwole. The thing is, Buzzwole's very good. 1 energy, 30 damage, and you can make that energy a strong energy and it's 50 damage, and a Diancie Prism Star and it's 70 damage. And then you add a Choice Band and it's 100 damage. With weaknesses 200, Zoroark actually survives that hit. Now, to be fair, Beast Energy replacing Strong Energy gets a 1-hit KO for Buzzwole, but that's not going to happen all that often. So Zoroark decks would have a turn or two against Buzzwole to get things going, work on some 2-hit KOs, abuse cards like Ace Roller, and get themselves back into the game, while also teching in cards like Mew EX, which could get a 1-hit KO on a Buzzwole with the weakness, and it worked. Then B-String came out. And now, as soon as Zoroark decks start getting anywhere, Buzzwole just gets B-String. And then you have free energy Buzzwoles using Knuckle Impact. And here's the other thing, right? It wasn't just Zoroark decks. Buzzwole could have all the Zoroark matchups it wanted, but then Buzzwole would come up against something like, for instance, a Golisopod, and it would go, well, I can't one-hit this. I'm really struggling. And you'd have to try and hit multiple max elixir. Whereas now, strong energy, B-String, Choice Band, and you're hitting for 210 with Knuckle Impact and getting a 1-hit KO. Buzzwole not only has a much easier time against Zoroark than it used to, now that it's got B-String, although to be clear, it had a pretty good time against it anyway. But now, it's in the great position where even its bad matchups aren't that bad because of B-String. And this makes a huge difference. Now players that would have gone, oh, I want to play Buzzwole, but I don't know how much Zoroark there's going to be, can now just go, you know what, Buzzwole's the best deck in the format, let's go for it. And Zoroark's in trouble. Now, Zoroark, not unlike Golisopod, which has also pretty much fallen off the map lately, it is a specialist at a 2-hit KO game. That's what you want to do. 2-hit KOs while healing. Ace Roller. Now, you could play Max Potion as well, but the thing about playing Max Potion here is, especially if you're playing Zoroark rather than Golisopod, double colorless energy ends up getting discarded, and that's a little bit sad. So, you want a 2-hit KO while using stuff like Ace Roller. And that was fine because we were in a format that did that. Don't get me wrong, we had Gardevoir GX that could get 1-hit KOs. But that wasn't really the end of the world because it's a stage 2 and it's kind of slow. And yeah, Lycanroc was seeing quite a lot of play, but that's not really all that bad because you could play someone like Golisopod to be hitting for weakness and get a 1-hit KO with a single energy, kind of putting your opponent at a stalemate. So, what's happened to the format now? We're in a 1-hit KO format, ladies and gentlemen. If we go back to Madison, okay, we do see that Jake Ewart did get 3rd place with Greninja. Yeah, that's a little bit of an outlier, I'm afraid. Although, to be fair, right, when Greninja gets set up and starts using all of these Greninja breaks and giant water shurikens, you are then looking at one-hit KOs. I mean, 60 damage per giant water shuriken plus a Moonlight Slash is 200. You can always add a choice band and go up to 230 if you want to. So there are one-hit KOs on Zoroark coming around, even with Greninja. Now, I know it's a one-hit KO when you use two abilities, but it's still only one attack. I'm totally counting it. And then if we look at the rest of the decks, it's Buzzwole, and oh look, Zach Taylor got 7th place with Ultra Necrozma Malamar. Yeah. And Ultra Necrozma Malamar and also Necrozma Malamar, they are both becoming quite big decks at the moment. And they're both predicated very much on one-hit KOs. Ultra Necrozma's got Photon Geyser, minimum Psychic Metal Energy, 20 damage, discard all basic Psychic. You do 80 more for each card you discard. So 2 Psychic Energy in a Choice Band or just 3 Psychic Energy. There's a one-hit KO on a Zoroark. And oh yeah, they can use Beastring as well, and they can also use Lunala Prism Star, so all of a sudden here it's not actually that difficult for them to get this energy on there, and then you end up getting one-hit KO'd. And then of course you've got Necrozma GX. Now okay, Zoroark does have a resistance to Necrozma, which in theory is quite a bad thing, but Prismatic Burst, 10 damage, discard all Psychic Energy, 60 more for each card you discarded. Okay, they need 4 Psychic Energy on there, but if they do, bye-bye. And that's a bit of a problem here. Although, side note, if they've only got 3 energy on and a choice band, they do 220 with resistances 200, and you do actually survive that, so they do need to get the 4th energy. So we're in a big one-hit KO format. Zoroark is being one-hit KO'd. And then if we go back and look at Zoroark's attack here, it's not good enough anymore. 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. Therefore, if you've got a full bench of 5 Pokemon, you do 120 damage with a Choice Band 150. And alright, that's good enough for Marshadow GX, but that's not good enough for any other GX Pokemon. Which means that when these Pokemon come around, like Ultra Necrozma, like Buzzwole, we're not getting one-hit KOs. Now, I mentioned Mew EX earlier. You've also got the Mew from Fates Collide you could always try and use, or the Mewtwo from Evolutions. There are techs we can use against Buzzwole here. But now you've got a tech against Buzzwole, and you've got a tech against Lycanroc. And you've got a tech against Ultra Necrozma. And it's not like the old days where a Zoroark Golisopod deck already teched against Lycanroc. Because nowadays, if you've got a Buzzwole Lycanroc deck against Zoroark Golisopod, just Buzzwole with Beastring. It used to be that Buzzwole took apart Zoroark, so you could just use Golisopod, and Buzzwole didn't hit enough damage and Lycanroc got one-hit KO'd for a single energy. But now that Beastring's here, Beastring allows Buzzwole to get an easy one-hit KO on Lycanroc. It's already crushing Zoroark, and then you're kind of out of options. And now Ultra Necrozma and regular Necrozma are kind of barreling into the fray. And it's largely due to Beastring. Now, to be fair, Necrozma is not an Ultra Beast, so can't use Beastring, but they can still use Malamar, and they can still use Lunala Prism Star. And I still think Duskmane Necrozma has a decent chance to be good in the format, but here's my point about Duskmane Necrozma. Uses Beastring. It uses Beastring to accelerate energy. And we're just not in a format at the moment where Zoroark can thrive. It's not like it's gone away forever. There are still a whole bunch of Zoroark out there. And like I say, it did make 2 top 16s over at the Madison Regional Championship. But when you consider that it came 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the previous regional in Toronto, less than a month before, Forbidden Light has come along and basically killed Zoroark. I know, right? How sad's that? But I don't really expect to see Zoroark going anywhere. I still expect Zoroark to see play. Now, Zoroark might end up in more of an auxiliary role post-rotation, i.e. people are playing it just to draw some extra cards. It's not really that great as an attacker. But I tell you something for nothing, ladies and gentlemen, it still does decent damage, and it is actually now finally hitting weakness on something. It's Stormwing's Necrozma, and it's still got excellent draw power. But I think it's fair to say that Zoroark is no longer the powerhouse it used to be. And it's not Buzzwole, because Zoroark was cleaning up in a format that had plenty of Buzzwole coming around. It's Beastring and Malamar. Boo, hiss, etc. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. How good do you think Zoroark is nowadays? Do you still think it's a top-tier deck, or is it a little bit over? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWossy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And do check out Wossy Plays for some video game action. We just uploaded a video about the Microsoft E3 press conference. I think it's pretty good. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.